All right. Mind of God. Mic check, mic check.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes. Now, calling you Mind of God is a little bit of a mouthful. Can I just call you Bob?
Or CP, if you can use my initials, that would be great.
All right. How about just C?
That's fine. I
Okay.
like it. Yep.
So, in your opinion, how did you like that dumpster fire that we were just on?
It was good, man. I think honestly, when you're in it, it actually feels a little bit more productive than when you're hearing it because you can kind of ask, So, I'm not saying that everything that I see is nasty, but I mean, from this is my first experience actually in a debate, but I felt it was actually more productive. For me, I'm actually really just kind of testing the waters, asking questions because I'm new. So, I mean, I hope I wasn't constipating the process, but it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess the same question goes for the other guys who are not here right now because I'm not allowing them in.
What other
So,
guys?
the other globetards. Yeah, I will be the only globetard in this hangout to try and keep the numbers down to a minimum so that we can avoid the problem of over talking.
Yes, I agree, Red. One thing, Red, we don't agree on this on a lot of things, but yeah, it gets to be too much on the live stream with too many people. It gets all clustered. So this is much better.
Okay. And to respond to that, I don't know of anything that we agree on, but I'll accept
Nothing.
the yeah, I don't think we agree on literally anything. So
Yeah, I
that
agree on that. But at least we can hear each other and
wait a
not have
minute.
those.
If we don't agree on anything, but we agree on that, I guess there's a contradiction there somewhere. But
Yeah,
there's
oxymoron. Yeah.
yep, too much brain power. I'm not going to think about it anyway. So
Yeah.
the first thing I want to do is give it over to C. So C, is there anything that you didn't get to say in the last live stream because you were either interrupted, cut off, whatever the case may be? Anything that you want to get off your chest?
I just had a question, which I think you'll be very qualified to answer. Is the pressure profile going radially? Does the Baller theory assume that it goes to zero, or is there always a small amount of pressure?
You mean the density gradients? You mean as you get higher and higher, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner when you're
does
in
it
a
ever
vacuum?
go to zero? Is what I'm asking.
It doesn't go to 0, 0. What it gets to is a state where the molecules aren't exactly touching each other anymore. So you could say it's 0, but it's not a true vacuum. It's just exerting no outward pressure in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So molecules are just too far apart to actually exert a pressure to begin with.
Because I was going to say if it goes to zero, it's actually non-physical if we were to draw the curve, but that saves it. So. Next.
I mean, the International Space Station, even though it is in vacuum, it still hits molecules of atmosphere every now and then, and that degrades its orbit. And every now and then, it needs a boost to put it into a higher orbit. Otherwise, it is going to burn up.
But Reds, that Lake Pontchartrain thing, what's up with that, man? Like that thing is curving. Like come on, like that is not the Earth curve, dude. Is that what you're suggesting with that stuff that you did?
I'm not suggesting anything other than going there and repeating the observation myself. And
yes, that wasn't yours? Sorry, that was someone else's that did that?
That is my buddy Soundly. Soundly is the guy that actually took that image. And yes, that is what we would expect to see on a round Earth. What we're not being shown in that image is the amount of zoom that is needed to make the image that you see. So if you were to look at a unzoomed version of that picture, which I told Soundly he needs to do to get me the compare and contrast,
yeah,
you will actually see something that looks to be perfectly flat and perfectly straight. But the very moment you zoom in on the horizon, that's when you start to see the true shape of that bridge, and it starts to bow over the curving Earth. And the best thing about this is that what we did, just to make sure that we weren't fooling ourselves, is we had this bridge, this span, virtually modeled on a curved surface to the same assumed parameters of the globe. And what we observe in the virtual model is exactly what we observe in reality. So on an Earth that is the radius that is, quote, assumed to be, it all matches perfectly with what we see in reality.
So but you'll make that public where people can fit something through the image, or how would we measure the curve? How do you do that? Through the image or through other measurement devices? How do you quantify the arc?
The way we do that is that we make the virtual model. So it's actually a bit of reverse engineering, but not really. And let me explain. If the Earth is the size asserted to be, then observations should comport with that assertion. So we model what is asserted to be the truth. We then go out and make the observation. And then we see, okay, does what we observe in reality match this model that is based on these values?
Yeah, I get
Oh,
that.
look.
I just mean the observe piece. How are we, if we're reviewing it, our community or whatever, how do we measure that curve? You know, like are you doing it through the picture, or how do you?
Yeah, we would do it. We would definitely do it through the image.
Okay,
And
I'm just wondering. Okay, got it.
and also, I think there is an open invite that Soundly has open to any flat earther that wishes to go to Lake Pontchartrain and the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway and observe the curvature directly, because he's not the only one that has multiple Nikon cameras. I have multiple Nikon cameras. I have two P900s and a P1000, and I'm more than happy to let you borrow one so you can make some observations there.
I don't want to take away from your combo with RV, but I appreciate that. I'll look into it.
Well, if you are going to go there, be my guest, and I will give you the same tripod that I use to film rocket launches and landings.
Yeah, Reds, you guys done? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying, I for some reason my internet kept cutting off, and I right when I was hearing, trying to listen to you guys respond. So it's like after I was done talking, I didn't hear anything you guys said, and I had a really bad connection. So I can hear you guys really good though. But bottom line is, the foundation of all this, with this whole debate with flat Earth versus the globe, again, if it would be, demonstrated, observable, the so-called globe, there would be no debate. The flat Earth would have gone away, but it's not going away. It's getting larger and stronger. The whole movement, it's really growing, and this is because, and I know, Reds, you don't like to rely on NASA to prove anything, but due to NASA's, lack of, real photos of the so-called ball Earth, so you understand why there's this, this division with ball earthers and flat earthers, is because NASA's not transparent. To me, they're just transparent frauds. And
well, that's perfectly fine for you to have that opinion. I think you're incorrect, because not only has NASA been providing real images of the Earth for decades, but now other agencies outside of NASA are posting images of the Earth. In fact, we can get an 11,000 by 11,000 resolution of the image taken every 10 minutes. The archive is now thousands and thousands and thousands of images. The reason why you aren't happy with it is because you just simply don't accept it. I'm sorry, dude, but a lot of flat earthers have called my footage CGI. A lot of flat earthers have called my rocket launch videos CGI. A lot of flat earthers have called Soundly's observations CGI. I've been forced to come to the conclusions that flat earthers don't know CGI from reality to save their fucking life. So when you say to me that it looks fake, I'm not putting any value in your opinion.
Well, Rez, I don't know where to start here with this. There's so much. First off, when you talk about NASA, they even admit there's only supposedly two images, full images of the so-called ball Earth. Was it back in 1973, and more recently, supposedly 2015. So the bottom line is this: all these supposed blue marble images by Robert Simon, he even admits that they're just, they're composites, they're paintings. He's never been in space. He's just, he's collecting data and just putting together, this ball Earth as he imagines it to be.
Do you know that composite doesn't mean fake? If I
Well,
take
hold on.
if I take
Hold on, Red.
okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Red. Go ahead.
If I take a flanking image of the bumper of my car, and then I take a picture of the tail of my car, and I take a picture of the door of my car, and I take a picture of the roof of my car, and then the bottom left tire of my car when looking at from the side, and I stitch all of those pictures together, does the resulting image of a car mean that my car is fake? Because
No,
that's
it
a
doesn't.
because that then by your own admission, composite imagery does not mean fakery.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. But we should, with all the trillions of dollars that's going to NASA over the years, $52 million a day with their budget, we should get one solid, a clear image. Here's the funny thing is, you have these supposed
I looked up
mirrors.
25 just now, taken today. Would you like me to send them to you?
Well,
The
hold
Himalaya.
on, we'll get there, Red. Just hold on. We'll discuss that. But here's the funny thing is, people talk about there's this mirror on the moon and you can get the reflection. How about sticking a freaking camera on the moon and we can get a 24/7 video live feed from the moon of Earth spinning? Why
Because
don't they do that?
because there's
And
two
then the
reasons.
clothes.
There's two reasons why we don't do that. One,
Yeah.
because it's not going to convince you even if they did do it. And two, there is no, I'm serious. So just for C's benefit, I'll repeat the first point. One, because even if they did put a camera on the moon, you wouldn't believe it anyway. Don't pretend otherwise. And secondly, the amount of data that we can gather from a camera placed on the moon is no different than the data that we get from satellites in geostationary orbit or for satellites at the Lagrangian 1 point. We have the same amount of data coming in without having to put one on the moon pointed towards the Earth. Not only that, but the data that we get from Lagrangian 1 point is vastly more beneficial because we can actually orientate it on demand, which is something that we would be at the mercy of the moon to do for us.
Well, the whole bottom line is this: we already know ISS supposedly has footage of the ball Earth and capturing this footage 24/7, but looking for discrepancies, footage from the moon, footage from ISS. Let's see if it all matches, all comes together. That's the point I'm making. Just like I mentioned in the first podcast or live stream debate we had on Non Sequitur about SpaceX.
Did he just cut out, or is that just me?
No, he did.
He did cut out. Okay, then that's not just me. He was going to get to something about SpaceX.
It's his icon. I can't see it currently.
RussianVids, you might have to F5 because you just completely cut out again. So I can't hear a word you're saying if you're talking right now. How about this? See, anything that you want to comment on based on what RussianVids was going on while we're filling up dead air?
I guess, I mean, dude, the reactions, like when you see just hearing you almost just talk about the things that you're interested in about space and the rockets and all that, the enthusiasm, it definitely concerns me why I don't see that with, post whatever interviews of these astronauts. They just look clueless. Like, honestly, they're just looking around, trying to find words. It's like, I understand if they're like imagine if we went on these actual missions. I would come back to Earth and I would stop everybody on the street in awe of what I just saw. Like, you almost have a vantage point of,
hang on. RussianVids, I muted you because there's some background noise. So we'll get back to you in a sec because you did drop out, but I want to let Steve finish his thought.
But that's basically my point. It's just it's underwhelming, the kind of response, the detail of the description of what they've experienced. It's again, this is not proof, and this is not the only thing that I'm resting on, but it definitely is worrisome when people who've just gone on this sort of technological marvel come back and like just really look confused.
I mean, Chris Hadfield is giving TED Talks, writing books about it, and is giving interviews about it on the daily. He has a Twitter that's giving updated stuff about space all the time, as is, Mark Kelly and
the Aldrin one that I'm talking about with those three. That famous one, Buzz Aldrin and the other two guys. That's the one that I'm referring to. They're like, I don't know, like they were literally asking each other what they saw. Like just from a courtroom perspective, do you see how that would at least be slightly kind of suspicious?
Yeah, because context is important. Context was missing. And if you look at context, then it all comes down together.
No, I
And
wasn't.
not
I'm not saying that's open and shut, but do you get our view of that as like, wait a minute, like that seems that seems a little off.
without investigating further into it, yes, you can have that whoa, what the hell moment.
Right.
But once you look further into it, that's when any sort of hint of a conspiracy starts to fall apart. And and here's the thing, I don't I don't put my faith or evidence or whatever on people's reactions of what they saw when they went to space or how beautiful it was. I mean, after all, Chris Hadfield came back as giddy as can be. I mean, he made a fucking music video in orbit because he loved it so much. But we tend to look at the guy who's not really that enthusiastic about it. Maybe he's just, super professional about everything, which is really annoying to his coworkers because all they want to do is have fun and he's all work, work, work and no play.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like that, even if they see something really amazing. So I'll give you an example. If you go to my videos and you look up a rocket launch called Desert Files Launch, my reaction when I saw that Falcon 9 landing the first time was I was shitting bricks. I was jumping up and down, and you could hear the excitement in my voice.
I know.
Seeing it for the 5th time, though, I mean, yes, I'm still excited, but not to the level I was when I first did it. And when you're up there, yes, you have that wow factor, but people are up there for months. Kelly was up there for an entire year. And I'm sorry, but people being stuck in a tin can, having to shit in a vacuum cleaner kind of gets old after a while. And I can imagine they would want some R&R and not wanting to talk about it for a while. I would just want a fucking pizza, to be honest with you.
No,
Hey, Red.
I get that part.
Yes,
Hey,
Russian.
I want to jump in real quick. Was it Scott Kelly you mentioned? And he was pretty pudgy. A guy eating rations for a year in supposedly space. And, pretty pudgy for a guy that's supposed to be, again, in space for a year eating rations. Just not buying it. Sorry, pal.
They're
buying it.
not eating rations. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is he eating supposedly in whatever they eat in what is he eating up there? Supposedly eating up in the ISS.
Chocolate pudding cake?
Maybe they ordered Domino's pizza. I don't know. You tell me.
No, if they did order Domino's pizza, it would have been freeze dried. But the thing is that when the ISS gets a resupply mission, you do know that there's food on that resupply mission, right?
Yes, but usually it's the rations. I'm not sure what they supposed to eat. I don't believe they're up there. That's my point.
I think it's well, I understand that you don't believe it's up there. You're free to be wrong on your own time, but the simple fact is that assuming that they are up there, RussianVids, I think they have enough to have a little bit of good fun or eat a snack every now and then.
Yeah, but again, Scott Kelly, he looks like he's pretty pudgy. And it's
yeah,
pretty funny.
You would when all the blood rushes to your head because of the lack of gravity.
The funny thing is, the very next day, he films on Facebook. He has a live stream on Facebook, and he shows himself, jumping in a swimming pool. And to me, it's flat out mockery. We know they do all these underwater, with the astronauts supposedly. We see the bubbles and all that. So it's just, to me, it's just mockery. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what they're selling.
Yeah, I did see the swimsuits when Kelly did a 58-minute tour of the ISS and was showing water while being underwater. Yeah, I saw that.
There's also
when you can find some way of making that make sense, get back to me.
Yeah, why do we see? It's funny. I see water on the. They have some video within the ISS, and they show water, on the outside of the window in the ISS. I made a video about that a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that video. That was the same video that was debunked by Sean Hufford, right?
I made so many videos, I don't recall his debunk. Yeah, actually, it comes to mind, but I don't remember his exact response to that. But I do remember he made a response video to that, and I forgot his exact explanation. Again, I cover so many topics, so many things. You got to refresh my memory.
When you rapid fire BS, it can get overwhelming. I understand.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I mean, after all, this isn't the first conversation we had about the International Space Station or SpaceX. And in fact, going back to that, you were going to make a point about SpaceX. What was your point about SpaceX?
Yeah, I made a video after their first launch, and you know, I got coverage. You know, the video went viral. I was covered, you know, on media outlets from Colorado to San Diego to Orlando, Florida. You know, over saying it's a hoax. It was a bunch of BS. You know, this supposed pencil coming in for this vertical landing. To me, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. Again, this is why I'm calling for different camera angles, not just one. You know,
I had 5 cameras pointed at this thing. I was actually there. I didn't film.
simultaneously. Let me ask this, Red. So you telling me you had 5 cameras simultaneously videotaping this landing? You're saying I
Correct.
didn't see that. Okay, I'd
It's
like to
called
see it.
Desert it's called Desert Files launch. Not only that, but I also have CHL's launch. I also have Sean's launch. These are videos that I have recorded myself. These landings are not fake. In fact, you can go to Cape Canaveral and see these landings for yourself. In fact,
Well,
I'll go ahead and give you this bit of information right now. So no excuse here. You actually have time for this. If you go to spaceflightnow.com/launch-schedule, you will see that on December 4th, there is a SpaceX CRS-16 resupply mission to the International Space Station. All commercial resupply missions for SpaceX are boostbacks. They land at LZ1. So if you go to Cape Canaveral on December 4th at 1:38 p.m., which is the start of their launch window, which is a 1-second launch window, so they have to launch at that time, I guarantee you will see a boostback of a Falcon 9 first stage without the second stage attached. And if you want, there's a Nikon P900 waiting for you so you can look through it.
I'll take a look at the footage. But again, getting back to what I said
No, 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 no,
earlier,
no, no, no. I don't mean look at the footage. I mean actually go there, experience the triple sonic booms that occur from a falling Falcon 9 first
well,
stage.
Red,
Actually go there.
You know, it'd be nice if, you know, like I said, there'll be multiple media sources out there recording it all, and that to me is major red flags.
But
You know,
what can be better than your own eyes? Well, it
yeah,
doesn't matter
that's true.
what media sources can go. You're seeing this thing falling out of the sky, and there's triple sonic booms. Then you're seeing a flame and landing legs deploying on this thing without the second stage attached. What could be better than your own eyes? Are you
I agree,
going to
Red.
dismiss your own eyes as CGI?
No,
Dude, I thought
Red,
we're
you're
not allowed to
100%
trust
correct.
our eyes.
You're 100% correct. Reds, what you're saying is I should, you know, if I had, you know, if I had the situation where I can get down to Florida and take a look at this, I would. I definitely would. I'm all the way in California. It's kind of difficult, but you
And
know,
go
but
to
again, you know,
Vandenberg.
but one thing I want to mention, Reds, I totally forgot until now, is that you made that video on me about the space shuttles and the supposed landing. I don't know if you saw my video on the Russian Buran, which is basically a replica of the space shuttles, and you see this Buran taking off like an airplane. That's all they are, like I said in my video. And I find it funny you couldn't find the video that I put out, you know, that I included in my video clip with the just Google, not Google, in YouTube, just type in a space shuttle landing arms reach. That's all you need to do, and you'll see that video that I put up that I was talking. You were complaining about me talking over, and you can see it for yourself, and you can hear the jet engines from the space shuttle. And again, why would you need 2 chaser planes? It's not like there's going to be you know, something attacking the space shuttle. You know, it's in harm's way. It's just to cover up that. Again, it's an airplane. So
Yeah,
I want
I
you.
and let me see if you were paying attention. And do you know my response to the supposed quote of jet engines?
It's been a while. You got to, like I said, I watch a lot of videos, and you got to refresh my memory on that. What exactly did you say?
It was onboard APUs. And on my response video to that, I ask you, hey, let's go ahead and listen to what an APU sounds like together. And it sounds like a jet engine. Not only that, but the space shuttle has a very unaerodynamic shape. And you're having this big mass cutting through air, well, not cutting, more like slamming into it, with onboard APUs running at full blast to supply hydraulic power to the damn thing so it can, you know, steer. Yeah, no shit, it would sound like that.
Well, here's the funny thing: is it's either this APU that you claim or it's engines. I'm going towards engines. You know why? Again, the Russian space shuttle Buran. If you look it up, just go on YouTube. you can see this Buran, which basically is identical to any NASA space shuttle.
It's not
It does the same
identical.
thing. Yeah, well, very, very, very similar.
It's
Just take a look.
it actually launched in a completely different way. And here's the thing: originally, the Buran was designed to have jet engines,
It did.
but they couldn't make it work. So on its first flight, it was an unpowered glider, the same as the space shuttle was. The space shuttle was an unpowered glider.
Hold
So
on, Reds. You know that there's actual footage on YouTube of this supposed space shuttle Buran taking off from a runway in flight. You know this, right?
yes, not for the first space mission, though. During testing, like I said, the Buran was originally designed to have jet engines, so those were tested on a runway. Before the space version of the Buran, the one that actually went into orbit, that one came down as an unpowered glider. It did not have jet engines. Your name is RussianVids. You should be very familiar with
Well,
Russian history.
well, I'll tell you this right now. This has been concealed uh, from Western media about this Buran because obviously,
Concealed. I looked it up on Google. If it's being concealed, that they're doing as good of a job as they did it with the Monica Lewinsky bullshit.
well, that's all it was a bunch of BS. That's the only
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's being concealed, and yet they can't do a good enough job to hide a blowjob. Nice.
Red,
Well,
sorry, can I ask one question? Sorry to interrupt, RV. On
Yeah, go ahead.
this line of thinking, I get the coordination that you feel is existing in the exploration. Why do you think there's so much turmoil politically? Doesn't it seem like a show? Like, why are they buddy when it comes to like exploration and deem that to be like mutually beneficial and everybody's friends? But then there's all these meetings and all this controversy and this and that. Like, how does that reconcile in your head?
I don't think I understand your question.
Like, how all these space agencies are working together, correct? Like,
Not all of them. No.
oh, they're not. Okay,
No.
but okay.
China is very firm in the "fuck all you guys."
Okay, so
camp.
it is consistent with other sentiment, like in other topics, right? From country to country, like they will only align their space programs if they're aligned for other political and.
I mean, the Russians blast our sorry asses back and forth to the International Space Station because we pay them $80 million per seat. That might have something to do with it.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I just want to make sure. So it's a business that's money's being exchanged, kind of thing. Got it.
Oh yeah, SpaceX ain't doing this for free, and neither are the Russians. And the thing about the Russian Soyuz, it's exactly what I said. If you are getting paid $80 million to give up a seat, I think you would do it because that's a good vacation.
hey, Reg, I want to ask you about again. I apologize for asking this again because I didn't hear the response on the other live stream about Virgin Galactic, and they've been around since 2004, never been in space, and you have NASA that was basically founded in 1952, and then supposedly 1969 they go to the moon. So a 15-year difference, or I'm sorry, 12 years difference compared to a 15-year difference with Virgin Galactic, and again this reverse technology where technology in the past is highly more successful obviously than modern technology.
No,
So
actually, you're very much wrong on that. What you're doing is you're comparing two different concepts as if they're the same, and they're not. Virgin Galactic runs on a feathering space plane, if you will. That type of methodology on getting into space is grossly problematic. That is the shittiest design when it comes to suborbital flight that I have ever seen. What they should be doing is doing what another company that you conveniently left out, Blue Origin, where they have been to space multiple times, suborbital flights, but that is a capsule design. What you are pointing out is the inefficiencies of using a feathering plane design when compared to a capsule / regular rocket design. So no, this isn't reverse technology. They tried a different concept. That different concept turned out to be bullshit, and now they're paying the price for it.
well, Reg, just to let you know, I made a video on Blue Origin after their first supposed launch and the rocket landing. There's absolutely no exhaust or any kind of markings on the asphalt whatsoever. It's clean as a whistle. And just like I said, there's so many red flags, to so much from the so-called moon landing to today. Everything is just sketchy. let me ask you this, Ray. What do you think about the Chinese so-called moon landing with the probe? Do you think that footage was legit, or is that just CGI?
Oh
I
no,
mean, you tell me.
I know for a fact it was legit. You don't, but that's okay.
No. I'm saying the footage. I'm not asking if you believe they actually landed on the freaking moon. I'm asking, do you think the footage they supplied is that supposed to be real, or is
You,
that just CGI? They're just like, I don't get it. If you look at I'm sure you've seen the footage. It's absolutely
I,
ridiculous.
You know what? At this point, I'm pretty much convinced that you don't know, or everything that you claim is CGI is actually real. So if you claim it's CGI, I will automatically assume it's real because that
Okay,
is a
Reg.
safer option to go for.
No,
Okay,
it's
Reg.
worth looking at. Yeah, for sure.
Reg, do me this favor, Reg, if you can. How about this? How about if you can share the video of the Chinese moon landing from 2013, and everybody can take a look at it. And you tell me.
Everyone can take a look at it on their own time.
Yeah, they can.
I do want to, however, answer one question that you mentioned previously,
Yeah.
or a point that you brought up, I should say. All right, the exhaust gases of a New Shepard rocket are clean, and guess what? The only thing you're pounding the cement with is heat. So the marking that you showed there was actually blowtorched white, and on a surface of, oh, I don't know, white. What would you expect to see? I'm curious.
I'm sorry, Red. I'm not buying it. It's just, you look at it. It just looks like it's a freaking statue they just placed there. It's
You don't have to buy anything. Like I said, you can actually go to Cape Canaveral and see this shit for yourself. This isn't in secrecy. They're not doing this out of the public eye. You can go ahead and see this for yourself, and no amount of scrutiny of the burn patterns of the landing pad is going to change that.
Well, I'll just tell you, everything they put out, is like I said, very sketchy.
Which is why I don't go to them, which is why I go out and film it for myself. If SpaceX wanted to go ahead and say that, oh, we're going to go ahead and land a first stage booster, I would say, wow, that seems pretty incredible. Flat earthers are definitely not going to believe this. That's why I should get off of my ass, travel 2.5 hours to Cape Canaveral with the Nikon P900, the flat earther camera of choice, film it for myself, post it to YouTube, and see what they say then. And sure as shit, people are still saying CGI.
Yeah, like I said, you and Astronomy Live are the ones that are always getting the best footage. I find that very interesting.
We just happen to be very passionate about filming awesome shit.
Are you sure you guys are not in the payroll with SpaceX? Are you gonna? Where's the Bible? I can have you place your hand on a Bible.
If we were being paid, I haven't gotten my check yet. Can you please tell them to get on that?
Yeah, I'll give them a call.
You do that, and while you're giving them a call, I'm going to also ask people to observe something just for their own benefit. What you're seeing here is the landing after the New Shepard touched down. Now look at the perimeter around the first stage. Notice how it's blowtorched white and at a slightly different hue than the surrounding pad. Yeah, it was marked contrary to what RussianVids said.
You know what? You got to show my video because it does not match with that. It's just like.
Then I'm sorry, I can do better research than you.
Well, just hold on. It's just like this is totally off topic, but it's relevant. Just like I
totally
covered
off
years
topic,
ago.
but relevant. Okay.
Yes, it is because there's a lot of other things that I cover besides the flat Earth truth. With a lot of psychological operations that take place. For example, this one supposed plane crash at SFO on a nice sunny day, and the planes don't match. They don't match, and the grass is higher in one photo, the grass is lower in another. They just don't match, and they haul away the supposed plane that crashed, that supposedly landed on the bottom underneath of the fuselage, and when they had the big rig pull it away and take it away, there's absolutely no damage to the underbelly of the fuselage, but the top portion of the fuselage is incinerated. So there's a lot of things that I see that don't add up. That's why I question things. So that's why I'm getting back to what you're showing with the shared screenshot you just had there. It doesn't match up with the footage I have in my video. You have one footage with what appears to be a burn mark on the landing pad, and one that doesn't show anything like that. Contradictions, things that don't add up. That's what I'm getting at, Red.
Yeah, there are no contradictions. You're manufacturing contradictions, which is,
No.
fine. But what you're basically doing, you're saying, oh, this doesn't make sense to me, therefore conspiracy. But what I'm telling you is that let's go ahead and take that point. Okay, let me go ahead and give that to you on a silver platter. In fact, I will gold plate it for you that there is no burn mark on the landing pad. I'm going to go ahead and give you that point. If I go there and I see this thing lift off and then land right in front of my fucking face, it doesn't matter what pattern of burn mark is on the pad. It still took off and landed because I saw it do just that.
Okay, Red, I'm going to go to my video and I'm going to share it with you here in the...
I don't need you to share a video. I need you to understand what I'm saying here because,
Red.
granted, I did not see the Blue Origin liftoff and landing, but I saw the SpaceX Falcon 9 liftoff and landing, which, in my opinion, is a little bit more badass. So it is a bigger rocket.
Yeah.
Let's be fair here.
I'll say this about SpaceX: it has more fanboys than Blue Origin. I admit that. Yes, a lot more.
Yes,
fanboys.
yeah, and also has more people who are dumb enough to travel 2.5 hours to film it because some idiots on the internet think the Earth is flat. But beside that being the case, you actually see filmed not by a NASA employee, but by one guy who's using the flat earther camera of choice, the camera that you motherfuckers told me to buy, filming a Falcon 9 landing. So what part of that is so hard to believe? You tell me, where am I going wrong?
I told you, Red. The bottom line is all these, Discovery Channel, History Channel.
I am not the Discovery Channel.
News,
I am not the Discovery Channel.
All these huge media sources with.
I am not the Discovery Channel. I'm not the History Channel. I don't give a shit about them. I'm talking about my footage. Where am I going wrong when it comes to my footage? What about my footage is so unconvincing?
Again, Reg, the bottom line is I want to see different angles from different sources. That's the problem. We don't get that. That's why I'm asking questions. That's why I'm not.
So if I film it from Titusville Park next time, will that make you satisfied?
No, Reg, you don't understand. I want to record it from different sources.
Okay, so we have it from NASA. We have multiple news agencies that are actually on site, local news agencies, mind you. We have multiple partners that are there, like, for example, Spaceflight Now and United Launch Reports going there. We have myself. We have Astronomy Live. Those are two different sources right there. We have people that are on the other side of the bay at Jetty Park who are also filming this, also from multiple sources. Even other flat earthers have filmed it. Granted, they said that sonic boom was it blowing up, which we have demonstrable evidence that it wasn't. But what source would you actually accept? How many times do we have to repeat this observation before you will start to believe it?
No, like you said earlier, the best observation with your own eyes. I agree with that 100%. That's what.
So it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what I show you or what I film for you. You will dismiss it.
No, you don't understand, Red. This is raising red flags when you're out there, you're getting all this, all this footage, and you don't have these huge companies, mainstream media. You don't have someone, for example, maybe a news company in Australia. They're very fascinating this. They don't fly down here to Florida and film this. This is something monumental that should be, documented. And it's not. It's by you.
It's been documented. They don't have to go to me to have it documented, though. That's the thing you're not understanding.
I don't think you get what I'm getting at here. This is something so, an amazing supposed feat. It should be documented by many sources, not just by, a plumber in Florida.
Yeah, but it has. No. I don't think you understand. What you don't understand is that it has been documented by multiple different stories. Vice did a fucking story on this shit. Not only that, but so did Fox, so did CNN. It was reported in every single major news outlet when it came to the December 2015 landing. That landing was so famous and so monumental that it was known worldwide. And look at the Zuma launch. Not only was that posted to C-SPAN of all fucking places, it was posted on every single major news agency, going to shitholes like Fox to even bigger shitholes like CNN. It went everywhere. And you're telling me that this isn't getting the attention it deserves if it is so monumental, but yet when it gets the attention it deserves because it is so monumental, you conveniently forget that.
You're twisting my words. What I'm saying here, I'm saying is CNN themselves Why are they relying on you for this? You know, they should go out there and send someone out there.
They're not relying on me. That's the point I'm making. You don't have to rely on me. I'm simply doing this because you guys like to claim that I have no evidence for my assertions, and then I go out and I provide evidence for my assertions. When I debated Jeranism, I did not go to NASA, ULA, Boeing, Sierra Nevada, or SpaceX for any of my information. Everything that I brought to the table that absolutely destroyed that son of a bitch was from observations that I or others like me have done themselves on this platform that we call YouTube, this little cancer side of the internet that we're in.
Well, like I said, we're going around in circles here, Red. Again, it's very suspicious when you're out there and you have all these other, big media sources. They're not out there. It's like they don't care about this. Where are they? They're going to report you did it. Big deal.
They're not going to report that I did it. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have let's go ahead and say that, well, this isn't getting the attention that I think it deserves. Then go out there and give it the attention it deserves. You are one of the most passionate people on the fucking internet when it comes to this topic. Why don't you make the trip down?
Yeah, send me some bucks that you're getting from SpaceX and I'll do it. But the bottom line is this.
So that's where you're thinking. So yeah, well, honest question. Do you honestly think I'm being paid by any agency to film these videos?
I believe so. I'll be honest with you, Red. I think you're hired by, same with you. I think you and Astronomy Live are hired help. That's my honest opinion. Can I agree with no?
Okay, that's so anyone in the live chat that can get in contact with NASA or SpaceX, they supposedly are paying me for this shit. If you can tell them to get the ball rolling on that, because I have yet to receive my check.
They stiffed you. They stiffed you, pal.
Or maybe I'm not hired by them. It's funny how you don't give any credence to that possibility. I mean, I appreciate the intellectual honesty with you saying that you can't fucking prove it, but it seems to me that you're just going to dismiss everything I say outright because I have a shitload of information that debunks your horseshit.
Okay, wait, guys, can we switch on to some related topic? Unless you guys want to keep finishing. Sorry.
I don't know if RussianVids has another point you would like to make.
Let's move on from this. But like I said, in the future, we can't go back in time, but in the future, get your buddy Astronomy Live, get a few other people and record from 30, 40 feet apart, different angles. You have Astronomy Live, recording one of these SpaceX landings. And, he's the only one who has this perspective that he has. And it would be nice to have, different angles, different to look at it all and break it all down. And
believe me, if we actually did that, I can bet you my left nut and the right one as well, that will not convince you. There is nothing that I can provide to you that will convince you of anything unless you go out there and you see it for yourself. And then you'll have to argue with your own eyes. No. I am pretty convinced that any footage that I give you will not be convincing. Any picture given to you by NASA will be dismissed as CGI. Any evidence that goes counter to your claim will be just rejected outright. I honestly think at this point that there is no hope for you. And unlike you, I actually do have evidence for that.
Well, the bottom line is this. Again, Red, I'm going to say this one last time.
Please do.
You can't go back in the past, but in the future, it'd be nice to have different media sources. Again, CNN, Fox News, Discovery, all these entities, go out there and film it. Then I can say, wait a second, maybe there's something to it. It'll get, if this was legit, it would get rid of it, but it's never going to happen. That's what I'm getting. It's never going to happen.
Even though it already has. So, see, what say you?
Well, no, my point, and again, I'm just kind of observing this dialogue, but I definitely side with RV in the sense that it's almost your enthusiasm is making it harder to believe because let's say, let's say that you're not being paid, which, if I were to bet, I would say that you're not from what I know now, but that almost makes it even harder because then you're just doing
Hang on. Russian, gonna have to mute you. There's a feedback. Go ahead, C.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's that. I think that's what he's getting at. He's saying it on a broader scale.
I literally did not hear the last 4 seconds of that because of RussianVids. Can you just repeat?
Oh, it's fine. Or do you want me to wait till he gets back?
No. I just muted him. So just repeat what you said because I literally did not hear what you said.
Yeah, I think basically what he's getting at, I agree with, and I feel to some degree myself, is that the enthusiasm that you're showing for these kind of events, and this website is the first time I've ever been there, which I didn't even know it exists, but I think that's what he's kind of getting at. And I mean, we could really go on about that forever, but I think that's a take-home point, is like your enthusiasm should be matched and greatly exceeded by all these other entities in the world, so we can experience this technological breakthrough.
So my enthusiasm is a mark against me. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, not against you. I'm saying it's a litmus test for us to gauge the enthusiasm of all these other entities that are actually doing this, building it, and benefiting from it potentially, like technologically or politically.
You do at the bare bones minimum agree that that's a really poor argument.
No, I'm not even saying it's an argument. I'm just saying it's an observation. That's where that's all it is. I'm not trying to win.
Transparency. We're looking for transparency.
I gave you everything. I gave you the location of where I was, where you can see it, when the next launch is, the camera that I was using, the zoom I was at. I literally document every aspect of this shit in the description of my launches. You guys are still not satisfied with it, RussianVids. I gave you the link to where you can observe or where you can find out where the next transit is going to be. I gave you the tripod that I use, the camera that I use, the methodology that I use, the time that I shot it at. Everything has been laid out for you so that you can do this for yourself. Right. So when you're talking about transparency, bro, look no further. I'm as transparent as they come. You don't believe me, but that's because you haven't tried it for yourself.
Here's something, Reg, I want to throw at you here. For example, you go to an NFL game. There's about 12 or 15 different camera angles. You're recording a meaningless football game, being shown live on TV, and SpaceX and their massive budget, even them, just say for example, them alone, they have that one against static, footage video from, it looks like about 10,000 miles away, not literally, but it's very far away. So all they had to do was line up a bunch of cameras around the landing pad and get all these different angles, but they don't. I guess it's not in their budget to do that, huh, Reds?
They had 6 different angles of the landing. What the fuck are you talking about? Not only that, but they even had a drone.
Well, okay, now here you got to understand that you got to.
No. You got to understand that you're literally talking out of your ass, especially when the evidence is plastered all over the internet. Go to the Falcon Heavy launch and landing sequence and count the different camera angles.
Reds, there you go. See, now you're doing it right. You're specifically stating, the Heavy Falcon. Going back to the first few, there wasn't. You got to get it. You got to be more specific.
And that's why there was a second view, and a third view, and a fourth view, and a fifth view, and then a sixth view, which means 6 different cameras. There was even a fucking drone recording this. You saying that there's not enough camera angles to film this, when in fact there was, leads me to believe that you didn't even bother watching it before dismissing it out of hand.
You mean the car they didn't modify at all to go to so-called outer space?
You mean the Tesla Roadster?
Yeah, the Tesla Roadster. No modifications, flying through space.
That was ridiculous. That was
yeah. If anybody believes that, they need their head checked.
Wait a minute. I have to ask this now. Wow. What is so hard about the Tesla being in space? Because the Falcon Heavy has the capabilities to actually put something like that into orbit.
RV, man, or Reds. That is ridiculous, man. Like, let's talk about
I like that you're saying that. Now I need evidence. What evidence do you have? What evidence can you present to me to show that is, quote, ridiculous?
Tell me what the feat was, just so I didn't follow it closely. What did they do? What was accomplished in that with the Tesla?
What was accomplished was to prove the capabilities that the Falcon Heavy can actually get a payload into orbit without fucking up.
So that car was doing what?
That car was acting as a weight to prove the capability of the rocket. When you are trying to market your rocket to potential customers, you need to demonstrate that your rocket has the capability to put their shit into orbit without fucking it up. That's exactly what every rocket company had to do. Before SpaceX got any funding or any customers, they had to demonstrate the capability of their Falcon 1. The same thing happened with their Falcon 9. When you do the Electron, the new rocket company that is based based out of New Zealand, their first few flights didn't have a paying customer on board because no customer in their right mind would put their payload on an unproven platform after they proved their capability of their platform by literally launching a disco ball into low Earth orbit. Then other companies were like, okay, this rocket is a viable method of getting our product into orbit without blowing the fucker up.
But did you hear what he said about it? Did you hear
what did
Elon
he say?
Musk? EM, which is 33. But he's
Yippee.
like it looks so fake it has to be real or something. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he goes, he says,
why would he say that if it's real? That doesn't make sense. Just say it's real. Move on.
Okay, so Elon Musk says something like, oh, I don't know. I remember when he was also trolling a bunch of flat earthers where he's like, why are most of your landings at night? Easier to do the CGI that way.
Yeah, I know he says that. Yeah, I know he's done that in the Joe Rogan thing a bit too. But
yeah, it's great. And here's the thing. Elon Musk, all right, I'm just going to say this, is a child.
He doesn't sound smart at all.
No. Elon Musk is actually a very brilliant man. For example, Tesla. Have you ever noticed anything about Tesla's vehicles?
Sorry, what was that? Do I know anything about them?
Yes. See, I like how flat earthers like to do pattern recognition all the time, especially when they harp on about this numerology bullshit. So let me ask you, let me put this to test.
Hold on, I'm going to answer that, but go ahead.
No, hang on.
The logo looks like the cross.
No, I'm going to put this to test. Have you ever noticed anything about Tesla's vehicle naming scheme?
No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with them, actually.
All right. You know about the Model S, right?
Yes.
You know about the Model E, right?
I do now.
Okay. Which was renamed to Model 3, which is a backwards E.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And you know about the Model X, right?
Yeah, you're feeding right into us, but keep going.
Okay. Model S, Model E, Model X. What's that spell? Sex. And what is the next car going to be? The Model Y, making it Sex E.
But the 3X could also be interpreted 666.
Or it could be sexy,
No,
which is what Elon Musk actually said it was, because Elon Musk is a fucking child. And that's why, what better way to live out your childhood 12-year-old self than to launch a fucking car into orbit?
Well, it's that's why they're called the soul. I hate to use the term. That's why they're called the Illuminati. They're naughty, just like in 2015 when they showed that supposed photo of the ball Earth. It had sex spelled upside down. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't, because it actually was JHY. But it was good the way you painted the leg of the S that wasn't actually there. Maybe the deception isn't happening on the supposed Illuminati side. Maybe you should look in the fucking mirror.
Well, here's the thing is Reds, I want to mention about, and this is very relevant to Freemasonry. It's just fun. It's funny how this all works with the Falcon 9. It's not the Falcon 8. It's not the Falcon 7. Falcon 9
has 9 engines on the son of a bitch. What else were they going to name it?
Hold on. Falcon 9 is 33 numerology. You had the Sentinel 2 that supposedly launched satellites in space. Sentinel 2, 33 numerology. You had the Indian launch. It had a bunch of letters and numbers that were 33. So these are Masonic deceptions that are taking place.
Yeah, and I used your name and used numerology to also conclude that you had a sexual relationship with O.J. Simpson, because I can pull shit out of my ass too.
Yeah. You mock the numbers, and the reality is
no. They were legit numbers. They were legit numbers. That was really from your name, RussianVids, and I was able to confirm using numerology that you had a sexual, intimate relationship with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
how was that cock, by the way?
There's too much of it, Reds. Like that. There's so much, man. Like,
yes, again, when you rapid fire bullshit, what do you expect? And also, I wanted to go back to you, C, for example. You highlighted unmodified. Why does that matter if the Tesla was modified or not?
No, where did I say that? Unmodified?
Yeah, an unmodified Tesla. Was that you, or was that
No,
Russian?
I didn't say that. No.
I said that.
That whole thing is to me like a joke. Like that's
technically it was supposed to be humorous. I mean, they are launching a fucking car into orbit, but the reason why they launched a car was because they need a dummy payload in order to test the capability of the rocket to confirm that this rocket actually works.
The funny thing is, Reds, people actually believe you. People actually believe that you're
Yeah,
on
yeah.
NASA.
People believing the truth. I know, funny concept, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious. It looks faker than fake, and they purposely made it look fake to mock people.
Yeah, yeah. Everything looks fake to you. Like I
Yeah,
said, you
it
don't
does.
you don't know CGI from real life to save your fucking life.
Dude,
Can we
listen to this. Bottom line is this: people have been so systematically dumbed down. Don't believe anything that media says. They're so mind controlled. If you go against the grain, you're not going to be accepted in
Which
society.
is why I didn't go to NASA to get all the evidence I had that debunks your horse shit. That's why I did all the observations myself, and that is one of the beautiful things. This is why I'm known as the #1 debunker of flat Earth nonsense. It's because I don't go to NASA. When people say, "Well, did you do that yourself? Did you do that yourself, or did you just get that secondhand from NASA?" I can come back to them and said, "Actually, yes, motherfucker. Yes, I have done this myself,
Okay.
and here's my evidence."
Let's get back to that Soundly footage at Lake
I
Pontchartrain.
would
Here's the
actually
thing.
Yeah,
like I would actually like for you to finish your thought on the whole car thing. Why was the modification of the car important? It was a dummy payload.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous that they wouldn't try to even modify for space. They just
What did they need to modify to make it sensible for space?
how would the tires react to the so-called the vacuum of space? How would it respond? How would the car respond?
They would literally not respond at all. What would make them respond in what way?
Well, you would think there would be some type of reaction with these tires in space,
No,
supposedly.
there's currently 14 pounds of psi pressing down on you in all directions. Tires are usually held to around 35, 40 psi, but they can go to a maximum of 60 psi. If you add 14 psi to 35 psi, what does that equal? Here's an answer: not 60, which means you are more within the capability of what those tires can take.
Bottom
Math
line
is,
is
math is a bitch, isn't it?
bottom line is
no, math is good.
the bottom line is the footage from so-called outer space of this Tesla flying around was atrocious. It
Yeah,
was
the
a
bottom line is you don't actually know what real footage looks like, which is sad, but
no.
it's acceptable.
Everything I looked at when it comes when it comes to SpaceX, you know,
You couldn't even find a burn mark on the fucking landing pad of Blue Origin, and you're expecting me to believe your fucking
I already told
ability
you,
to do observational skills?
Red. I already told you there's inconsistencies with the photos, with the footage. I
There
have
is
video
the only
footage. Hold on.
inconsistency is your ability to actually look at the facts. You don't know them.
I already told you some of the footage. You showed that one screenshot. It doesn't add up to the footage that I have, where there's absolutely no white burn mark whatsoever on the asphalt on that one landing pad. It doesn't add up.
Yeah,
So what's up with that?
it actually does, but going to
You
the
refuse
second
to show my video that I completely destroyed Blue Origin, which
yeah,
again, not enough fanboys.
then
They
then
kind of
then then we'll go ahead and debunk it later, but
yeah.
what else about the Tesla Roadster need to be modified?
Well, it's just funny how this freaking thing is. How's it flying through space? What's propelling it? How does this operate? You gotta
What's
explain it,
propelling it?
Fred.
Oh, I don't know, maybe the second stage rocket that it's attached to?
Dude, there's no way that thing went out there, man. Like, it's
No,
probably a
it's a
waste. We're
joke.
gonna keep going around on this one,
Yeah,
but
Well,
we could just say there's pink elephants in
fine.
space.
That's fine, C. But the fact is, this is that you guys saying that it didn't go out and yet giving me absolutely nothing on why I should believe you.
but
Don't you see that as kind of jumping the gun there?
you know what?
Let me answer something, Red. Let me answer this.
Let's see respond, Russian
Well,
vids.
wait,
Okay,
RV,
go ahead.
you might agree with this. I would say the determination, enthusiasm you have is almost really what we're wishing people at the higher ups had. Honestly, like, we're not even accusing you explicitly of anything deep or whatever, but it's like, where is the enthusiasm, the broadcasting, the cheering for all these technological marvels? That car going in space, that would be like half a day off school kind of stuff. Like, let me
I don't
see
know.
that. Like,
Maybe the expression of that accomplishment is plastered on Elon Musk's Twitter profile as his fucking avatar.
yeah, but that's not just him doing that. That's a collection of a lot of different technologies that have, been the foundation for something like that to occur. That's not just a kid with a Wharton MBA who just figured out how to put a Tesla in the air, right? He's not that kind of a guy.
Yeah,
Not.
where is actually
He's a Wharton MBA.
Well, actually, so the enthusiasm thing.
Oh, okay.
I I actually have to agree with you. I actually have to agree with you that the
It's flat.
enthusiasm. No.
I'm just
The enthusiasm thing. I actually have to agree with you. The enthusiasm simply is not there. I mean, there is no way, shape, or form that there is any enthusiasm whatsoever about a Falcon 9 landing whatsoever. I mean, no enthusiasm whatsoever in this I mean,
Yeah,
no
you know what this looks like?
enthusiasm whatsoever. Like none. Like no enthusiasm.
Yeah, a bunch
No
of Christ
enthusiasm
seconds. They
whatsoever.
look like they look like a bunch of girls at a Backstreet Boy concert. It's ridiculous. You know, it's a joke. Look at them. Look at their faces. They're hired help.
So when people show enthusiasm, you have a fucking problem with it. When people don't show enthusiasm, you have a fucking problem with it. You
no,
know
we're cool
what?
with that. We're
At
talking
this
about the
point,
media.
fuck
We're
us,
talking
right?
about no, we're talking about the media. We're talking about the buzz, the
Yeah.
hype, the all that, the energy, like all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's very subjective. So I don't know if it's worthwhile to keep. You know, you're comfortable with that. I'm obviously not. I don't think it's
What I'm
broadcast
actually
enough.
trying to get to is that I understand that you don't believe it, but I'm asking what part of what Elon Musk did with the Falcon Heavy launch makes this shit impossible? Does the Falcon 9 have the capability of putting something like a Tesla Roadster into orbit? Yes, it does. Do the math and do the delta V calculations. It does. Did an actual rocket go off? Yes. Yes, it did. It was recorded in multiple different ways. In fact, Astronomy Live has uncut footage of such a thing. Were any modifications needed to that vehicle to make it survive the environment of space? No, none. No modifications were needed whatsoever.
Okay, Reg, here's the thing I want to get into, and I should have mentioned this earlier. I made videos. I was the
Sure.
first one to make videos about SpaceX going way back when they first had their bogus launches, where I have
You
this
mean the
one.
launches that completely pissed off every flat earther? Yeah.
No, just listen here. There's this one footage that I have from I forgot the beach in the name in Florida. Was it Apollo Beach? I forgot the name, but anyways, you know, I sped up the footage. It's about a 5 minute long video footage from the beach, and you see a supposed launch, and I'm not denying, of course, that SpaceX. You know, I'm not saying they do not launch rockets, but they definitely do not go into space. You can literally see this rocket from the beach vantage point go up in the sky, take it. You know, it has this huge arc, and then you just see it fizzle out. You see it's not going to space. It's just going back in the ocean. That's all it's doing.
So
It's
because
better fireworks. That's it.
because the rocket curves and quote unquote fizzles out, you think
Yeah.
that rockets don't go into space?
Well, I know they don't. Just look at the footage.
Okay,
It's clear as day.
let's say assuming that all this shit is actually happening, do you know why rockets curve when going to space?
I understand what science says, what they
Okay,
say.
then
Low Earth
please
orbit is
educate a dumbass like me. Why do rockets curve when going to space?
supposedly they're making they're entering the space, low Earth orbit, making its way around, and that's how they do it.
Okay, and so when if it's going around and they hit a certain speed, what's that rocket gonna do after it hits the speed necessary? Is it gonna keep
After
firing, or is it gonna or is it gonna turn that shit off?
listen, Reds, you don't see this supposed rocket going to space. You see it coming down straight in the ocean. You don't see what you listen. This is the point I want to make. You don't see any rockets enter into space. You don't see any rockets return from space. There's no footage of this. Same like I mentioned with the space shuttles.
We'll go okay for the sake of argument. We'll go ahead and ignore the footage that I filmed of rockets going to space. So we'll go ahead and ignore that.
I've seen that footage. And it's not
We will also ignore the footage that I have of objects actually in space, and we will also ignore the footage that I have filmed myself personally of the first stage coming back without the second stage attached and the second stage actually firing as it did with the luminosity transfer. We'll go ahead and ignore all that shit as if it didn't fucking matter. The original question still remains the same. If a rocket curves as it should, reaches the speed necessary, is that rocket going to keep firing, or is it going to turn off?
Well, if it's bottom line is this: it doesn't matter if it's either
Can
option.
you answer a direct question? If hypothetically, if the rocket got to the altitude needed, started going horizontal to the Earth's surface as it needed, would the rocket that initially got up to that speed turn off, being that the work is already done, or would it keep firing?
Well, of course it turn off, but
okay, then that explains the fizzling out.
But again, you don't see the physical rocket go into space.
Yes, we do actually.
You don't see the separation. Hold on, Rich. You don't see the actual stages separating. All you see is the freaking rocket.
You want to bet. You want to actually bet money. I have the footage
video, Reds. I have it in my channel.
Okay, let's go ahead and do a quick debunk of RussianVids. Hang on. No. We need to debunk you real quick. So RussianVids just made a claim that we don't actually see the stages separating. This is my footage of the Falcon 9 called Jade's launch film on 6/29/2018. So here is Miko. There is stage separation right there. And here is second stage ignition. Boom. So there's second stage ignition. This light that you see that's drifting back, let me speed up a little bit. This light that you see that's drifting back is the first stage. So contrary to what RussianVids has asserted, that we don't see, quote, stage separations happen, we do. And I filmed it myself with the flat earther camera of choice, the Nikon P900. Now that you have been debunked, good sir, please continue.
Actually, I didn't see that. I didn't see that particular footage. The footage I seen from the beach during the day, and I'm looking for it on YouTube. And this is where the inconsistencies are a problem. You show it with your footage of a rocket separation.
Yeah, it's pretty badass, isn't it?
Why don't I see it in the footage that I see?
Because you haven't been watching my videos.
Well, my point is this, Red, is what you show is contradictory to what videos I seen from during the day. You should clearly see.
Maybe you should remove the words flat Earth from your search, and maybe that will help.
No. That's not. I'm looking for this. Yeah, it's from Cocoa Beach. That's the beach. I said Apollo Beach. It's Cocoa Beach. But I'm looking for the exact. Oh, here it is. I got it here.
See, from the footage that I just showed you, would you agree that I was able to film a staging event?
I'll be honest, dude. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff like that.
Okay,
I'm not interested.
You don't know anything about rockets and how they work?
No, and I'm not in. I mean, I'll listen and I'm interested, but
okay.
That's
Reds,
not that fast.
Hey, Reds, I want you to screen share this video. It's by Cocoa Beach 365. SpaceX Falcon 9 sunset launch from Cocoa Beach video. Play that video, and I want you to show me the separation that you showed me in your footage. Why is it? There's inconsistencies, obviously. Why do you show separation and someone else recording, a SpaceX launch? There's no separation whatsoever. It's a 4-minute and 29-second video.
Cocoa Beach, 4-minute 20 what second?
29 seconds.
4 minutes 29 seconds. Cocoa Beach launch. Can you just copy and paste the link in the side?
Yeah, hold on here. Let me do this here. Hold on.
Cocoa Beach launch.
Yeah, here's the exact thing. Falcon 9, DSCOVR sunset launch from Cocoa Beach video. And
COSVR. Oh, Discover.
Yeah, Discover without the E.
Oh yeah, that's Discover and Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, Cocoa Beach. Yeah.
4 minutes 29 seconds, right?
Yeah, and like I said, the username is Cocoa Beach 365. So you should be able to find
365. All right.
That's the username.
Okay, hang on a second.
So while you're looking for that, Red, I'll just mention this. Okay. Even if you can say there's a separation, my point is, more importantly, is you can clearly see this is not going into outer space.
Actually, it is. So let's go ahead and demonstrate how wrong
play it,
you are
please.
to
Yeah.
everyone. So at this video, as you can see, which I will put a link to this particular video in the live chat for you all to see. There it goes. If we fast forward to 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you can see this cloud stop right there. So see how it stops right, I'll tell you when, right there. It stops, and then as it goes through again, you'll see it right here. Wait for it. Boom, right there. There's the cloud. So what we saw was Miko, which was main engine cutoff. Then we had separation, and this right here was second stage ignition. This right now, this new cloud that's now forming is second stage ignition. So in RussianVids' own documented video, the one that he told us, you can actually see a separation event, which he said wasn't there.
The bottom line with this video,
That you don't know how to use your eyes.
No. The bottom line with that video is what you cut off. I wanted to show how you clearly see that rocket's not supposedly going into space. That's the point of the video I want to show, and you don't see the actual separate. You claim it's a separation, but you don't see that stage dropping down to Earth or anything like that. Okay, just cloud separating doesn't that's not definitive what you're saying. But the bottom line is, I wish you would have played that video in its entirety, showing that basically this launch, this freaking rocket is basically going back.
Let's play the rest of it. Let's play the rest of it. So we're at 3 minutes 55.
Full screen if you can.
So, and that's literally the entire video. Right
No, you got to back up there, Reg. You got to back up to the point where
that was where we left off from. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you can go back about.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and no, actually, fuck this. Let's go all the way back to 39 seconds. Okay. You tell me when the fakery happens. We'll wait.
No, you don't understand. I'm not saying this video is fake. See, now you're putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying this is a fake launch. They do actually launch these rockets into the sky, but they do not.
And by the way, maybe the reason why it was so difficult for you to see the separation, even though I could see it, was because I don't know, they were filming this with a cell phone and not a Nikon P900 at max zoom.
Well, the bottom line is my point is this.
Well, the bottom line is the bottom line is that you're comparing apples to oranges and then complaining that your apple doesn't taste like an orange.
No, the bottom line is this. Even if there are separations, that does not prove they're going into space. That's the whole point I'm making, Reds. And you're not.
No. The fact that we have objects in space prove that they've been to space, because otherwise those objects wouldn't be there to begin with. As I did in my video towards you, I was able to confirm that objects are in space, that they're traveling at the altitudes needed to be in space, at the speeds that if they were within the atmosphere would have burnt the fuck up. And anybody with a good zoom and a friend can verify this for themselves, as I did with Astronomy Live.
Okay, you're gonna play this video a little bit more so we can see the supposed.
It's been playing the entire time, dude. It's been playing the entire time.
Well, that's why when I played the video myself, I had of course you can't. You can speed it up by using the YouTube.
Oh no. I wanna play this in real time. I want you to tell me exactly when the fakery happens, exactly when the bullshit occurs. I don't want you to be able to weasel your way out saying, "Oh, how dishonest of you, Reds, to not play the entire thing." No, we're gonna play the entire thing, and I want you to tell me where anything about this confirms what you're saying to be true.
My whole point is this thing doesn't go into space. That's it.
That is a baseless assertion that you cannot back up. You have literally no evidence to back up that assertion. While I, on the other hand, have evidence to the contrary. Not evidence from NASA, mind you. That I don't have evidence from NASA. I have evidence from 3 people: me, myself, and I.
Yeah. The funny thing is, you have this footage at night, and it supposedly shows the separation. But the bottom line, it doesn't prove it's actually going to space. It's at night. We don't know where the supposed atmosphere ends with the vacuum of space and supposed vacuum of space. So it's all a conjecture. It doesn't prove anything to me.
No, it actually isn't, because the fact is that when we see objects going into space, we can actually see when they go into vacuum.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, really.
Yeah. Well, I like to see. You didn't show me anything on that video. Now here, take a look here. This is towards the end.
Hmm.
That if you truly
Don't worry,
believe this,
I'll show you exactly when it goes in the vacuum in the next video.
But wait, Reds, you said no vacuum. You just mean very little pressure, right? When you say that?
The vacuum in the sense that the molecules aren't touching.
Okay, fair enough.
so yeah, you want to go back to that video, and you'll clearly see that rocket's not going to space. We're not seeing. We see.
So literally, he just made
Yeah.
an assertion based on no evidence whatsoever. I'm sorry. This video that you made me play for you, RussianVids, is not backing up your assertion.
Well, it's funny how you cut it off when I was trying to make the
It's
point.
still
Of the video.
playing, dude.
But
I never cut it off. You're saying I'm
No.
cutting it off, but it's still fucking playing.
No, you don't understand. From my vantage point, when I'm watching you play that video, I didn't see this entirety in full screen. You have it. You had to cut off.
It's
We
not
couldn't see the
cut
end.
off, for fuck's sake. How many
Go
times do I have
back a
to?
little bit, Reg. Come on, go
You know
back
what?
about.
You know what? Screw this. No, I'm gonna post this link again in the live chat for everyone to see, so they can play
Okay,
it
fair
uncut,
enough.
unfiltered, and they can come to their own conclusions. So, guys, be serious about this. Watch that video in a separate tab. Keep the audio on this one because the audio is not really important, I assume. So watch that video and then answer in the live chat if what you see in that video comports with what RussianVids is saying, or is RussianVids full of shit. Secondly, let's go to one other thing. I'm still screen sharing. Perfect. So let's go to my channel. And let's go to videos. Actually, no, let's not go to videos. Let's go to rocket launches. Oh yeah. See, these are all the rocket launches that I was able to film with the Flat Earther camera of choice. So let's go ahead and go down
Discovery
to.
has that on their channel. It's amazing. You go to Discovery.
Let's go to Houseways launch. So let's go to Houseways launch. Okay, so this is a lumosity transfer. Now, a question for C.
I already remember you played this video, dude. But keep going, and your explanation was. But keep going. What are you going to tell me?
No, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to ask you a question. As objects, if we have a stronger and stronger and stronger vacuum, if we have a packet of gas, if I have a sphere of gas, like let's say in a rubber sphere, and I break that egg of gas open, it's going to expand quickly in all directions to fill the void, correct?
Okay.
Cool. Sure. So that expansion is going to happen slower at higher pressures, but it's going to happen faster at lower pressures. See what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Cool. So here we have the gas expelling out of this rocket at one pressure. Here we have it at a different pressure. Here we have it at a different pressure. Oh, there's fairing separation, by the way. These are the stages. You know, another staging event. You were
using this to prove somehow, like you were extrapolating this out to prove that a vacuum exists. I remember you did this video. I was like, how do you
yes, and that? So and then we have it at 1 atmospheric pressure until eventually we have no illumination of the gas, even with this second stage ignition.
And what are you concluding from that?
What I'm concluding is that the expanding gas demonstrates the characteristic that we would expect gases to have in a vacuum, per your own admission. You said that that gases in a vacuum will expand rapidly in all directions, continuing to grow in rapidness, if you will, with stronger and stronger vacuums. And guess what? That is exactly what we see. As this rocket gets higher and higher and higher, the gases start to expand faster and faster and faster until they expand so fucking much that we can't even see the gases that are surrounding this rocket. So this shows that this rocket was indeed going into a vacuum. Also, the information that I was able to show with the International Space Station shows that it is traveling at an altitude that would put it in space and at a speed that would be orbital velocity. Not only that, but what was really cool about a lot of the videos that I make is that one of them was actually against RussianVids. And in it, I put 3 different pieces of evidence to show that not only did the Falcon 9 lift off and go into space, but you could actually see it in orbit after the fact.
I'm still getting on your point of extrapolating that out to somehow mean zero pressure. I mean,
okay,
that's fine.
Let's try this one more time, only slower.
No, I don't actually don't want to hear it.
You know what I'm thinking about here, guys? I don't want to interrupt, but one thing I find funny, it's like when it's 4th of July, there's a fireworks show. There's, you know, you go on YouTube and it's like in New York or wherever. I shouldn't say New York, but you know, say for example in the Bay Area where I live, you know, there's all you look on YouTube the next day and there's like, you know, hundreds of videos of the fireworks show, and you go to look for something that's this monumental feat. And there's one guy in Florida, a plumber, who has footage. I just find it, you know, very, very, like I said, sketchy, very sketchy and
didn't we just go over how that's bullshit and how literally in the last hangout we just typed it in Discover Falcon 9 launch and I saw an entire fucking list of people who even posted it first?
Yeah, but Red,
you're making assertions that don't comport with reality, and that is your biggest fucking problem. You say, oh, we have this one guy, this one plumber from Florida. No, we don't have just one guy. We have multiple people, multiple lines of confirmation with multiple cameras that you even pointed out to, mind you, showing this thing doing what the nameless, faceless they says it's doing. A rocket that's launching and going into space, curving as expected, into a vacuum as expected, at the speed expected, and can be verified as expected.
Okay,
everything that you say is the case is actually not the case. Everything you claim is a problem is not actually a problem. And quite honestly, I really hope you go there, because then you'll have to claim that your own eyes are CGI.
Yeah, I'll meet you there, Red. How about that? Here's something I want to mention as well. I should have showed you this video. It's even better quality, stating about this BS launch with SpaceX. It's on the same channel. And the title is.
Wait.
Hold on, just bear with me, Reds, please. It's SpaceX SES-11 EchoStar 105. Just look at that. That one is much clearer footage, much better quality, and you can see there's no way this so-called rocket is launching into space, and it's going to be transparent to all that watch this. It's a complete joke.
I can't wait to debunk you on this one as well, because I've actually. So it's the SpaceX Telestar 18 Vantage.
No, it's SpaceX SES-11 EchoStar 105.
EchoStar. Telestar 19 Vantage. SES-12.
No. I'll say it again. SpaceX SES-11 EchoStar 105. Same beach from Cocoa Beach, but this is a much better quality footage compared to the last one we saw, which wasn't very good, to be honest. Like you said, it wasn't.
You can only do so well with a cell phone, dude.
Well, this is not a cell phone this time.
No, it really is a cell phone.
And again, I'll repeat it. SpaceX SES-11 EchoStar 105.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, let me bring this up. Okay, so let's do this. Let's hit screen share. I'm actually going to present to everyone this time.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So here is the footage.
Yeah, let's play. This one's even shorter, so it's about half the time. About 2 minutes.
No problem. You just tell me when the fakery happens, bro.
No, listen. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is the fake launch.
And then let me rephrase. You tell me when the bullshit starts.
Yeah. Well, it starts when you'll see it towards the end, where you can clearly see this thing is not going to outer space. No.
All right. So far, nothing that I'm seeing here is actually confirming what you're saying.
Just keep watching.
This was on October 11th, 2017. So I think I filmed this one, so I'll double check.
Yeah, let's keep watching here towards the end. Like I said, it's only 2 minutes 45 seconds, and and if people believe this is going to outer space, sorry.
Yeah, Yeah,
Wishful thinking.
if you believe in facts, guys, he's apologizing for some reason.
Yeah, this is like like I said, expensive firework, and just it goes in the ocean. That's it.
Yeah, an expensive firework to actually put stuff into orbit, which has been confirmed in multiple ways, which
Okay.
RussianVids has still yet to debunk.
So this is low Earth orbit. Like supposedly space shuttles, they go around the Earth. How many times before it goes in the so-called space?
Actually, it doesn't have to go around in order to get into space. It has to reach a certain altitude and a certain speed. Up there's second stage ignition. Kick ass.
Yeah, going straight down. There you go.
No, it's not going straight down. It's heading along the curve, which is perfect actually, because that's what it's supposed to do.
That's funny. We never see planes going around a curve, at any point. But somehow this rocket's going around a curve. Okay.
Maybe because the plane is at an angular resolution that's insufficient for your fucking camera. But fuck math, right?
Bottom line is it's called an airplane for a reason. It's a vehicle flying through the air over a plane. Just like the Antarctic Circle. It's called the Antarctic Circle. That's all it is.
Which is why I like how flat earthers have members all over the globe.
Yeah, and the Antarctic Edge. Funny how the play on names, and just like Metallica played a concert, suppose in Antarctica, playing in a dome.
Yeah,
in Antarctica. How nice. So there goes your
playing in a
bogus.
dome because it's actually fucking cold. But don't worry about the trips that people can actually take, civilians can actually take to the South Pole and see the southern celestial pole, which also doesn't make sense on a flat Earth. Yeah, let's not mind that. You got to understand, RussianVids, I've been doing this for as long, if not longer, than you have. Every amount of bullshit that you can possibly spew on the internet, I have a counter for. And speaking of counters, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we have October 11th, 2017. I'm wondering, did I actually record that launch? Because if I did, oh damn.
Yeah, let's see.
So let's see. So we were at October 11th, 2017. So let's see.
By the way, ballers should stop saying like my 5-year-old and 6-year-old can understand this. I don't understand how that's a strong statement.
I agree. It's more like 3 or 4 years old.
No, but how is that something that like if a 3-year-old can understand it, doesn't that mean that it's very like simple, like extremely simple?
It is simple. That's where intellectual dishonesty comes in.
No, but to the point where they would not be able to comprehend, pressure, curve, like.
Oh no! See, here's the thing. I actually think you can comprehend it, or let me say to RussianVids, I think he can. I think he actually can comprehend it. Believe it or not, I think he is smart enough to grasp his shit. He just chooses not to. He chooses to put all of his stock in numerology bullshit instead of demonstrable facts that anyone can verify.
Well, that's a whole nother ball game with the numerology, and I'm not. It's too much to cover in this.
It's not too much to cover. Listen, by using numerology, I confirmed that you had a sexual relationship with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, you can make up whatever you want. Bottom line is
because here's the thing. Pulling that kind of shit out of your ass is easy with numerology. That is the great thing about it. You can make it mean whatever the fuck you want. If you want to go ahead, see, look, I can actually, if you give me enough time and enough Red Bull, I can look at a keyboard and I can make it say the following. RussianVids not only had a sexual relationship with O.J. Simpson, but Ted Cruz as well. And I can do that by pure numerology. I would be able to do that from pure numerology.
Well,
numerology is a bullshit concept.
People are upfront about being Masons. Do you deny that? It's obvious. Like it's Shaquille O'Neal. All these people, they're upfront about it. Masonry is out there. 33 is everywhere.
Yeah.
Why do you struggle with that?
Oh yeah, that you actually got me there because I have to acknowledge the female Freemasons that went to space. Oh wait, what was that? What was that?
Yeah, Sally Ride.
Females can't be Freemasons. Oh, okay.
You know the funny thing is they mock us with Sally Ride, the first woman in space. Sally Ride, what a name! Just so happens, out of all the millions and millions of women in the United States, A woman named Sally Ride was selected to be the first woman in space, and I'm sure Reds would say, "Oh, it's just a coincidence." Your coincidence there is Reds. That's it. You know, you just
It's also mere coincidence that so basically by versions of numerology, it's not coincidence. So it's actually not a coincidence that your name is synonymous with having sex with O.J. Simpson.
Reg, you wanna be cute and funny with this sex
Oh
with
no,
O.J.
I'm dead
Simpson.
serious. If people want to see me go through the methodology, which is the exact
It's
same,
a bunch of
go
BS
ahead,
like
go
you
ahead and
are,
click on the
Reg.
non sequitur show and fast
Reg,
forward to the very end.
Reg, you and your BS with that. It's not even funny, man. If it feels funny, I actually laugh, but
Look, look,
it's just
look.
lame.
I'm telling you, having sex with O.J. Simpson is actually kind of nasty. It's not funny to me, bro. But
No,
you do you.
Reg,
I'm not. I don't judge. I'm not judging here. But if we have to accept numerology as valid, then I have no choice but to accept that you had sex with O.J. Simpson.
Okay, wait. Can I interject quickly? So, Reds, we're the Pontchartrain. You're going to try and do the curvature on that. We'll look at that, audit that, or whatever. Now, can we talk about this spinning? This ball.
What about the spinning?
Like, tell me what you know about how to verify that. That just sounds absolutely ridiculous. I don't even like saying it, but how do we know we're spinning? Where is the reference point? What do you know about that topic?
Do you know a thing called Foucault's pendulum?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how it works?
Don't use that. Don't use that because that's insane. Like
no. Hang on, RussianVids. This isn't a question for you. Now I'm moving on to C here. Okay. Actually, no. I am going to use that. Do you know Foucault's pendulum or ring laser gyros?
No.
Okay. Both of those will remain in the same orientation constantly, and both of those move as the Earth moves at a rate of 15 degrees per hour, confirmed. And not only that, but when you look at other flat earthers who have done this, they even confirm 15 degrees of rotation per hour. Funny that.
Bottom line is it needs to be started.
Bottom line, RussianVids, is this wasn't your question, and I'm talking to C. So do me a favor, shut up for a second.
No, but I don't understand how that, whatever those things are, like how is that our evidence that we're spinning? Like what else is there? Please don't tell me those are the only two things.
No, because without those things moving, do you know how a gyro actually works? If you spin a gyro, regardless in what orientation you yourself want to be, that gyro will remain in the same orientation. And given the fact that we have a gyro that has to stay within the same orientation, and yet it doesn't relative to the surface of the Earth, that means something external to the gyro is at play here. Like, oh, I don't know, the motion of the Earth.
So the atmosphere is moving, correct? This is the baller theory.
The atmosphere is moving with the Earth.
Okay. But it doesn't treat left and right or one direction in any kind of bias, right? Somehow?
It does, but to a very minimal standard. Like, for example, if you were to travel from New York to LA, your flight time would vary by 45 minutes depending on which direction you're going.
And that's because of the rotation of the atmosphere?
Correct.
Wow.
I know. Science is fun, right?
No, I'm not agreeing with it. I just think that's amazing.
It is. It's about the
amazing. Flight times actually
no. How fast the rotation of the is significant, right? So
the rotation is not significant. No, I completely disagree with you there.
Oh, it's not?
It's not. No.
Tell me more about that.
What do you mean? Why do you think it's so significant? It's literally a revolution of once in a 24-hour period. I don't know about you, but if I were to spin a drill bit at that speed, I wouldn't be getting much done.
Listen here, Reds. I'm going to interject. You need to get this pendulum in motion. How does that work? You have to push it to get it going. What is the momentum of the so-called spinning ball?
Like, I don't even think that should be discussed. That's literally ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And bottom line is this.
It's literally ridiculous.
Russian vids. You'll get your chance in a moment. Yeah. Let me talk to C here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you can keep saying that it's ridiculous. Where's your evidence that it's ridiculous?
But this pendulum is special in what way that it is the thing that is allowing us to understand that we're moving? What makes it unique from all other physical objects?
It's
what property does it have?
It's not unique. It's the fact that it's actually orientated itself in such a way, or actually mechanized in such a way as to make the effects of the spin
Wait,
noticeable.
mechanized? That might not be the correct word to use. What do you mean by that? It's being told to do that?
No,
What do
it's
you mean
not
by
being
that?
told to do anything. It's simply reacting to the environment that is around it. The reason why you're not seeing the spin interact with objects around you is because they're on this thing called the ground, and they're experiencing this thing called friction. The idea is that with gyros, they are designed, well, not designed, the physics of a gyro make it so it has to stay
Wait, no,
within the
now you're
same
talking about gyros.
orientation.
Is that we're talking about the pendulum thing?
I
We get
understand
rid of
that.
that, or do you
No,
still
no,
want
no,
to
no,
talk
no, no,
about
no,
that?
no, no. Hang on, hear me
Okay.
out.
Okay.
The same way that the gyro has to stay within the same orientation, so does the pendulum. The pendulum is kind of like a mini gyro effect, where if it swings back and forth, it's going to keep going along that same line. If the Earth starts to spin underneath it, then relative to the surface of the Earth, it will appear to change. And here's another thing. You can actually calculate I think it was your latitude or longitude, by the amount of deviation that pendulum takes. You can actually do this. In fact, there is a good video by some college students that demonstrated this, and you can do this with weight, string, and a bit of patience.
So the only thing that we can actually like get some insight into the spin is this pendulum.
No, there's other ways, but other ways that you're not going to accept because they involve orbit space and orbital mechanics.
Or okay.
You're not going to accept those ways, so I'm not even going there. I'm going into ways that you yourself can verify, and once you do, you will not be able to claim ignorance. No, none. Okay.
Well, I mean, that just sounds.
No,
That's
if you spin a gyro, that gyro is going to stay at the same orientation.
What's the reference point in outer space that we're spinning again? How was that discovered? Who discovered that?
That gyros remain in the same orientation.
No, the point with
know,
which
actually.
The point that is sort of the. How do I say that?
I don't understand your question then. How about this? RussianVids, what say you?
Yeah, this whole, like I said, the whole pendulum thing is just, to me, it's moronic. It doesn't prevent it. You got to get it. You got to push it to make it go in motion. So to me,
no, you don't push it.
Well, it just starts by itself. You're saying?
No, I never said that.
Okay, well, someone has to. It has to be triggered to get going.
Oh, now you're speaking my language, because here's how you trigger it: is that you have the pendulum on the top of its swing, and you anchor it there. You anchor it there with like a string or something. All right, very thin line. Gravity will accelerate that pendulum down after the string is broken. That way, you do not put any left or right directional influence on that pendulum. Now, there's many ways of severing the string, but a way that it was done with the college students was that they burned it. They burned that string with a lighter so that it would start its swing. Swinging is not going to deviate in any direction unless you put your hands on it and give it that directional influence. That part is true. That's why they eliminated that as a factor by starting the pendulum in this way. And for those of you who want, I will post a link to that in the description down below. So what part of this is moronic?
I mean, you have to understand our perspective. There's nothing that we have no reason to believe this except for the jargon that you're sharing. You know,
no, this is stuff that you can verify yourself. This is stuff that you can verify yourself. See, here's the beautiful thing about everything that I say, and this is why flat earthers have no excuse. Everything that I say, you can verify for yourself. Everything that I have observed, you can see yourself. All the math that I have done, you can do yourself. You can come to the same conclusions I do. If you would go out and do the same observations, see, and if RussianVids would simply get his head out of his ass. So,
how far out do we need to go to actually see the Earth spinning? Because the atmosphere is moving. Like, when are we decoupled from that, where we could actually be sort of independent, so we can observe it? If
To see the Earth spinning is actually a very complicated question, but I would actually say that the best way to see the Earth spinning is from the Lagrangian 1 point. That is a point that you're in a perfect balance between the Earth and the Sun, so that you orbit closer to the Sun, but at the same rate as the Earth. It's called the Lagrangian 1 point, where you are independent from the Earth's rotation and can see the Earth's rotation. That's why on the Discover satellite, using the Epic camera, you can actually see the Earth spinning. However, from geostationary orbit, since we know that in order to stay in orbit, you have to have some horizontal velocity, and if you're staying over the same point of the Earth, that means that your speed is the same as the Earth, which means if I know for a fact that I need to go a certain speed to stay in the orbit, and I'm staying over the same point of the Earth, that means the Earth is spinning at the same rate that I am orbiting. Therefore, the Earth is spinning. Those are two different ways that I can answer your question. So one's from 22,000 miles away, one is from 1,000,000 miles away at the Lagrangian 1 point.
Oh my God.
I know, it's
Okay.
amazing. It's amazing what you can figure out when you're just a humble plumber.
You know what's funny about this, Mr. Humble Plumber, is what's funny is the supposed ballers are spinning at what was it, 1,100 miles an hour.
We're definitely not
at the equator, and we can get a breeze, we can get winds from the north.
Correct.
It's just, yeah,
because I'm sorry, RussianVids, weather is a thing. One day you'll learn that.
Yeah, but you know what's funny also is if someone's in San Francisco, sitting on their couch, they're spinning at a different speed than someone sitting on their couch in LA while they're talking on the phone. We're literally freaking on this carousel, and literally, what science tells us, we're literally monkeys living on a spinning ball. We supposedly came from monkeys, and we're living on this freaking spinning ball.
Now we see the actual problem that RussianVids has. No, the Earth is flat because my Bible. I ain't no goddamn monkey.
Well, I'll tell you. Listen. Bottom line is this.
No. Bottom line is you need to come up with a better argument other than
my holy book. Listen, let me explain this to you. And a lot of people that believe in the baller don't even know this. We're supposedly, again, spinning 1,100 miles an hour around.
One revolution per day.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. While we're supposedly orbiting the sun at 70,000 miles an hour, as we're supposedly traveling.
One orbit per year.
Hold on. As we're supposedly, the sun is dragging us supposedly like a chariot, 500,000 miles an hour, and all this is happening, and Polaris is, always, the North Star is always present above the so-called North Pole. It's amazing. And how do we get the same constellations year after year, and all this is happening?
Yeah, it's amazing that it is amazing that RussianVids doesn't understand scale, even though this shit has been explained to him multiple times, and that in order for us to see a shift in Polaris, we would have to be traveling literally thousands upon thousands upon thousands times faster than we currently do. Because unfortunately for you, RussianVids, math is a thing and people can use it to easily see your bullshit.
Anybody can make up any math equations they want. You can
just like anyone can make up bullshit with numerology, right?
So, no, hold on. So you think math is your reality? To me,
but unlike your numerology bullshit, my math is based in reality from shit that can actually be verified. You just pull values out of your ass and assert that they're true.
You just mock the truth to keep people away from the truth. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, the truth that you have yet been able to verify. And what evidence have you given us about the truth? Your lack of knowledge about onboard APUs with a space shuttle, your lack of knowledge about second stage ignition, your lack of knowledge about the videos that I have actually shot myself, your inability to understand vacuums, your inability to understand gyros, and your inability to understand that via your own numerology bullshit that I was actually able to determine that you had a sexual relationship with OJ fucking Simpson.
So wait, Reds, just to confirm, you believe that a level going over a curve can stay flat as long as that curve is concentric with Earth curve, correct?
Wait, repeat that question.
A Carpenter level or a Spirit level will stay unmoved when it's traversing a curve as long as that curve is Earth curve, concentric with the Earth curve?
I'm going to assume what you're asking and answer what I assume you're asking. If I go beyond it, I need you to correct me. Is that fair?
Yes, please.
Okay, if you're holding a level and you're walking, and let's hypothetically say you had enough time and patience to walk around the entire Earth.
Yes, let's say you can do that.
It is possible to keep that bubble level in the middle, right?
It has to, yeah. According.
Okay, yes, it can definitely happen because because level does not mean flat.
Right. And then any shape that is, let's say it's elevated in the sky or above this ball Earth, that is exactly a replica concentric of Earth curve. A level will also stay level on that, right? As it traverses it at every moment that it passes over it, correct?
Are you talking about level to the ground? Because there is such a thing as unlevel ground. Are we
No, I
ignoring
understand that. No, I'm talking about, let's say that perfectly level Earth surface could be raised up in the air so everybody could kind of see it, like physically. You know, it's up there and it's perfectly flat. It's smooth, no bumps, hills, etc.
So basically, we're talking about, okay, hypothetically speaking,
Yeah, it's just
a sphere the size of the Earth, perfectly polished to a mirror finish.
Yeah.
Walking around it, yes, that level will stay. You know, that bubble level will stay in the middle where it is level.
Yeah, at every single point, it
Correct.
will be unmoved. Okay, so, but does that intellectually bother you that doesn't seem like that would be the reality? Like you would have to have a level that would be non-reactive to a curved surface, which is by definition what it's supposed to react to. That's why that's why it is what it is.
No, it actually doesn't bother me because on an Earth, especially, or on a sphere the size of the Earth, that's exactly what I would expect to see. Because even though the Earth is indeed spherical, you can treat it and think of it as it is flat, but it is not actually flat. To the
With
level,
gravity. I get it.
to the level, that one area, you can make it perfectly level as well. Just like that's why water sticks to a ball. See, I actually agree with flat earthers when I say water will find its level. Where I disagree with them is their assertion that level means flat, which it doesn't.
No, but you have to understand, mentally, we all, whoever is thinking about this, is picturing a level going over a curved surface, whether it's the Earth's surface or a surface that's raised up, just for us to kind of visually see it. Let's say it was like the track of like a train or some kind of high-speed train that mimicked the Earth curve, so it's visibly curving. You would put a level on that, and somehow it would magically not move. Like, doesn't that seem not possible?
It's not magical because the curve is so slight that it's almost imperceivable.
No, we're not talking about slight. Let's say we had enough of it so it experiences a lot of it.
No, I'm not going to entertain that hypothetical because that's not what you said previously. Previously, you said we're dealing with a polished surface with the size of the Earth, and we're walking along it. If you were to shrink the Earth down to the point where, but you still gave it enough gravity. Good luck with that, by the way.
No, we're talking about the same thing. I mean, it is concentric with Earth curve. I'm not changing the shape. I'm saying it is Earth curve. Either it's like bigger, like it's an exploded version, or it is Earth curve. So that, let's imagine that curve is above the Earth's surface, so we all visually could see it's curved. Okay, you can now put a level on it and traverse it. You actually think that level will stay level even though it's moving over a curved surface just because that shape matches Earth curve?
No, I'm not assuming it will stay level. I know it will stay level because that's what we would expect to see with polar gravity.
It won't.
Being perpendicular. Okay, perfect.
It will move. It's a curve. It's a level that's moving over an arc. Of course it's going to react.
Yeah, unfortunately the polar gravity also curves with the Earth, so it will correct itself.
Yeah, that's in the baller theory.
Actually, no, it's actually been demonstrated by a user by name of Wolfie who was able to demonstrate this with the gyro. No,
I'm not talking. I just my own experiment. It stands on its own. I'm not going to a gyro or Wolfie or whatever.
Okay, then perfect. This is exactly what I like to see because you're actually the first flat earther ever that has done their own experiments. So please tell me the methodology you use when this experiment. Please tell me where we can view it. Please tell me where it was published or if there's a YouTube video. Please explain this experiment, how you were able to determine facts from fiction. Please go through the methodology.
It's a thought experiment where we're taking a level.
So there wasn't any physical representation. It's simply a thought experiment.
Yes, for now. Okay. Until I get the ability to reproduce a large enough amount of Earth curve elevated above it.
Then the very moment that you can actually demonstrate this to be the case, get back to me and we'll make a grand debut here on this channel. In fact, in fact, I'll do this. I'll do this.
True.
I'm not bashing you in any way, shape, or form. I'm just gonna do this to make a point. Your channel does not have that many subscribers.
Very true.
So what I'm going to do is give you this offer. Once you are able to make a video that demonstrates that thought experiment to actually be the case, you send me that video and I will post it on my channel with my 21,000 subscribers for everyone to see, because we would all like evidence of a flat earther.
I have a feeling it wouldn't get posted because something like that, it's conclusive. It's done. It's like
I will, you know, cross my heart, hope to die, poke a needle in my eye type of deal. And by the way, there's 373 people watching me that can call me out on my bullshit right now. So I can't take this back. I will go ahead and make you that offer right here, right now. The very moment you do that experiment or that observation, you make a video detailing the methodology and you actually doing this observation, and then aligning that with a true follow from that conclusion, and you make that into a video, you render it out. I don't touch it in any way, shape, or form. You just send it to me and I upload it right as it is. I will go ahead and do that.
Dude, I know that you are true to your word, but level with me. Pardon the pun. Do you actually think that a level will stay level traversing an arc? That's
I don't know. No, I don't think that. I know that because it's already been demonstrated.
Wow.
I know. Actual experiments that go beyond thought, that go beyond conception, is a bitch sometimes.
So but gravity is interacting with that level and telling it you're traversing Earth curve, so stay put.
And the pull of gravity is curving with the Earth, and so if you are holding that level with the floor, then it will stay level as a result, because the pull of gravity is always going to curve with the Earth. So as you're following the curve, you're also following the pull of gravity. It curves with you. So relative to you, the pull of gravity is not going to change. It's still going to pull directly at your feet. So that level is going to remain unaffected.
No, we see it on a flat surface. That's not disputed. I'm talking
No,
about...
you see it on a flat surface, exactly. But for a sphere of sufficient size, you can think of it as a flat surface. It still works exactly the same. That's the reason why we have flat earthers to begin with, is because the Earth is just so fucking massive that if you're going out to the beach and looking out the horizon, they said, oh, it looks flat. I'm not going to look into this any further than this. They'll ignore the angular size of the sun problem, the pole star problem, ships disappearing over the horizon problem, the elevation angle problem. They'll also...
But so, Red, question about the ships over the horizon. Why don't people just help us understand the orientation changing? We get the thing, whatever, is like you can't see it. People are zooming in and all that. But do you agree that it's tilting, right?
Yes, it is tilting. But
so why can't we prove that? That's so simple.
Because it is such a small amount. In order
what's the resolution of our devices nowadays? We can't get to many decimal places. Like this should be
no, actually, because in order for you to see even 1 degree of tilt, you have to travel 70 miles. Objects start disappearing over the curve at, like, what is it, 15, 20 miles? So at that distance, you're literally seeing 0.3 to 0.4 degrees, or 0.4 of a single degree, less than a single degree of tilt, and that is tilt facing away from you, not sideways to you where you can easily see it, but directly away from you. Have 2 pencils. Go to the others, find the biggest room in your house. On one side of that room, have 2 pencils, and tilt one of them 0.4 degrees away from you.
But Red,
then go to the others.
Argument though, because you're actually showing the Lake Pontchartrain arcing, so you're saying that it's you can see it,
Yes,
it's like
yes,
it's
arc
reasonable.
Yes, arc is not the same as tilt, because there's another thing that you forgot to mention.
But you're saying that arc is not enough to see any kind of tilt.
It's not enough to see enough tilt, exactly. And in fact, I can do you one better. Let's go ahead and show people the Lake Pontchartrain observation that I was able to share. Because I'll show you one thing. So
this is why I say it, dude. I know this proof, like that's the proof of all proofs is not.
I have here the actual picture from Soundly that I'm screen sharing to everyone. Now, notice, do you see the huts that are to the left of the bridge? Notice how those huts, those huts are to the left of the bridge. Notice how they're curving over the, well, curve, but they're not tilting, because the amount of tilt visible, or the amount of tilt that is actually there, is so minute that you can't see it. So this picture confirms what we would expect to see on an Earth the size and shape that it is.
Well, I'm thinking like on a boat, if it's sailing, if there's a device that can understand orientation or be sensitive to that, that's the part that I was talking about. Maybe not on a physical structure like this. I fine.
But it's like I said, the amount of tilt that you would want to see is so minute and so insignificant that you're going to need some pretty sensitive equipment, especially out there on the water with the boat, rocking.
I can't say I'm going to do this. I definitely have appreciated this whole 9-hour marathon, sorry, 7-hour thing, but I think we'll get to the solution soon. So it's
all right, good. Then in that case, I'm going to start wrapping up. So the way I end my hangouts is very rude, but I do it with love. So RussianVids, say what you got to say and get the fuck out.
I want to say one last thing. I want you to play one video if you can.
We're not playing any more videos. It's literally almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to fuck to bed. You can post the link in the internal, and I will post it in the live chat.
Yeah, no, that's it, Reg. I just wanted to show this one video of the Rogers Center, and you can see with the P900 zooming in and out, and the ships. I mean, I'm sorry, the ships. The whole skyline just disappears. And getting back to Soundly's video, you showed a portion. There's another video. From another angle. No, it's a video. It shows a total contradiction of Soundly's, where basically you can see the end of the shore and buildings in the background. So there's definitely contradictions. That's all I wanted to say at the end. So
perfect.
It's all about perspective.
Perfect. Have a good one. All right, say what you guys say and get the fuck out.
Man, I don't know. I appreciate the dialogue. I think that with the energy and the intelligence on both sides, this is definitely, in my opinion, going to get solved soon.
All right. So with that, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. If you like more content like this, then subscribe. And in the meantime, have a good one. And from one globehead to all you cute motherfuckers in the live chat, go fuck yourself.